So I actually it started after I mean after mains, so it's natural. So I watched a lot of toppers video in this website, like who have given the mock interview, and I felt that that was giving a good place to. I mean the type of questions that they are asked. Specifically, the last even in last years there are 2 3 candidates from my state, and I have watched their interview here.
Okay.
So that actually I took help from for mostly the interview preparation, and also that online facility. Like I can't come to Delhi, so the online interview process was also it was really helpful for the type of questions that have been asked in the interview also very roundabout. So this all is how civils really help.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update from Civils Daily.
Hello, everyone. This is Sukanya Rana, and I welcome you all to the Unheard series. In this edition, we are talking to Mayuri Mukherjee, who has scored All India rank 159. And, right now she's sitting in her ancestral village enjoying the success that she achieved after a lot of hard work, after a really long journey. And I think this is something that we really need to hear and get inspired from. So, guys, welcome Mayuri Mukherjee. Hi, how are you doing?
Yeah, yeah, it's good. I'm fine right now.
So, how's the feeling of getting into that final list?
It's more of a relief. I mean, happiness comes much later. So it's the relief is the first feeling that I can think of, and
Right.
then so if other things starts. And sometimes it's also, I mean, still yesterday I just received a mail from Labasna from the, so it's
Okay.
again another thing that finally, yeah, now it's hard to believe that yes, it's actually been,
That's
yeah.
that's really great, Mayuri. So, like I said in the introduction, it's been a very long journey for you. So, just run me through. When did you decide to start, preparing for this examination? When did that reality hit you, and how did you start your preparation? What was your initial plan of strategy, and how did you go about it?
Okay, so I can start with my background. So I did my BSc honors in botany from Presidency College, Kolkata, and then came to Delhi, University of Delhi. I did my MSc, that too in botany. But at that time, I had no, I mean, intention of sitting in this UPSC. So I did my MSc, went back to Kolkata, joined CSIR, Indian Institute of Chemical Biology, as a PhD scholar, and I was doing my PhD from there. So it gradually starts getting like I had the thought that I should explore in some other areas while doing my PhD. So in third year in 2018, I came late in this preparation. So from 2018, I started seriously of giving these attempts. I gave 2 attempts, 2018 and 2019. I could not clear the prelims, but I was not very well prepared to. In 2020, so I mean, unfortunately, the COVID lockdown that gave me some bit amount of time to prepare thoroughly. And this was also my last year of PhD. So I have submitted my thesis in August 2021, and this is the time when I get a rank. So it's in
Okay,
brief,
right.
this is the
Right.
case.
So, not clearing prelims two times can actually put a lot of pressure on students. And they do start questioning whether they should give the attempt or not, whether it's meant for them or not. How did that motivation stay for you?
So I believe in my case, like I myself knew that my preparation was not up to the mark. I have to balance my research work also. So that somehow kept me motivated that I have not yet given my 100%. So, and this frustration is still, I'm not saying, I mean, now I can say this, but I clearly knew that point of time when failing 2 times actually make you question yourself that whether are you going into this right direction or are you not going into this right direction. So a good support system helped me. My parents were extremely helpful for, so because they said that I am already in PhD, so and I want to do it for myself. So just keep pushing and keep doing what you are doing. So that somehow helped me.
So, did you have your plan B in place, or was it like, no, I'm just going to focus on this field
So
only?
basically, I mean, UPSC came as a plan B. So I was in my PhD, right? So I was a full time PhD scholar. So I had that always in my hand, and that suddenly gave me a sense of uh, confidence or a sense of assurity, I can say.
Okay. Okay. Last question on prelims here, because a lot of students struggle with prelims, and even this year prelims, it was very hard. Like a lot of students attempted them, and they were like they were not even able to score beyond 90 this time. So, what was your strategy that got you through prelims that you think is something very useful?
Yeah, so this year also I attempted and I am scoring around 90, 95. So I do not know, I'm still in borderline. But I believe what helped me is to accept or to build a mentality that always an uncertain element and unpredictability will come in this paper. So no matter how much you are studying or how hard you are scoring, I mean, there will be very less questions that you can directly answer in the hall. Like this year also and last year also, it was only around 25, 30 that you can directly answer in the prelims. So prelims, so I believe that having this mindset that you have to take the decision on the spot, and probably looking beyond the prelims, like I mean I can tell what I think. I used to think myself that I am aspiring for a position that helps me. I mean that will I will have this place many times when I won't have all the resources in my hand. I have to take decisions then and there. So that mentality, building it from beforehand, that there will be some uncertainty and you will have to do it in the exam hall itself, will help you. That's only my, I mean, that's
Okay.
my, I think.
Okay, I think that is a very important part of building that right attitude for the paper, because I think that would keep you all positive and remove the negative energy from all this preparation, I think so.
Yes, and that, I mean, that takes place in all the three stages also. This unpredictability and uncertainty will be with you from prelims, mains, and interview as
So, Mayuri, you did your graduation and PhD and everything that was related to your optional botany.
well.
Somehow it was related. So, do you think that helped you out, because you have got a really good score in botany? It's 277. So that was a really good source. So, do you what are your recommendations with respect to optional? Should it be around the graduation subject, or students, new freshers can look beyond that subject also?
I believe it will depend on, I mean, it will vary person to person. But because I mean, I have done my graduation and post graduation sincerely. So, botany is not a very common option. There are not many people who take botany. But if you have that confidence that you have done well in your graduation and post graduation, so you can definitely choose for it, because the amount of time that you have given, like I gave almost 5 years completely towards botany. So now I do not have to read that much of optional. I can give my time to GS. So I believe that is one. But for few people, I know that they might not be comfortable with the subjects that they have taken in the graduation. They can look for other subjects as well. It depends on your comfortability and your likability, because optional has a very huge impact on your score, and you have to study it for a long time. So definitely the subject that you like more will be one that you can choose.
Right. So I think that amount of time that you gave for GS papers was good, because I see that your scores are very nice in GS. Like in GS1, you've got 102. In GS2, you've got 115. Then 3, you've got 111. So, what was your strategy for writing the mains paper? Like, how many mock tests did you give? What was your strategy with respect to answer writing? What was all that idea behind mains? Because this was your first mains paper and you cracked it well.
So I managed to get an 1.5 months leave from my PhD before the mains. So I started writing answer. So I never wrote the daily answer. I didn't have that time. I have to spend around 10 hours in a lab. So I started giving full mock tests. Like I gave around 29 tests, 26 GS and 3 essay in this 1 year, 1.5 months time. So that helped me to help. I mean, and another thing is I gave always. So I was enrolled in a West Bengal government sponsored coaching center here that gives preparation for UPSC. So they take live tests like 3 hours in the morning and 3 hours in the evening. So I was made to sit and write in this exam-like condition. I believe that helps a lot because you have to write 6 hours a day. And secondly, I found that whoever is clearing prelims, they all has almost similar content base. I believe that is the case because the content level is almost same. So I also gave equal importance to the presentation and the structuring part as well. Like I followed the introduction, body, conclusion always, and the time management is also another issue. I believe that not only content but also presentation and structuring helped me. Making diagrams helped me to get.
Okay, so your focus was a lot on presentations. Like, what was your, if I would say, what was your X factors in the answers? Like something that set apart your answers, especially say for ethics. A lot of people struggle with ethics.
So for ethics, I believe, I mean, in ethics, you don't have much thing to read from the books or the materials. It's better to culminate your own answers. I mean, your own. What was the time when you showed the example of integrity, honesty, empathy? That might help. And in ethics, I mean, what helps for me, like I choose to give practical solutions rather than being too hypothetical. What was doable? Probably that helps. So what helps and what works, I could not. But yes, for ethics, time management is also a very big issue that people should keep in mind.
Okay, so your focus on, I think, mains is basically time management and right presentation in the paper.
Yeah, because the content will never get complete. यूपीएससी का सिलेबस तो कभी खत्म नहीं होगा. तो
but I guess आपका रैंक भी आ गया होगा, अभी भी आपका सिलेबस रहता ही होगा.
नहीं है, it's नहीं. So it's the same thing. Like you have to. I mean that I said before that in never even in your service you will not have all the resources with you all the time, but you have to work for whatever you have in your.
True. That's speaking like a leader there.
No, I keep me motivated by saying this that the syllabus will never get completed, so you have to do whatever you have in your hand.
So I think that is a very nice advice for the freshers there who are always running after doing that book, this book, that book. So what about current affairs? Like, did you limit your current affairs also? Because nowadays we have a lot of current affairs running through the market. So that can create a lot of pressure on.
So frankly speaking, that my PhD, which I have to spend a lot of time, it actually acts as a boon that I don't have much time to read other things. So I followed Indian Express daily. I could not make notes. I don't have that time. And I followed one monthly magazine, Current Affairs monthly magazine. So that helped. I mean, that was okay for most of the contents are same. So I believe that having the confidence that whatever source you pick, you have the confidence that it will cover mostly the things will help.
Okay. So if I ask you which is your favorite and which is your least favorite stage out of prelims, mains, and interview, what would you say?
Favorite stage is definitely the mains.
Great.
You have all sorts of liberties. And I actually liked the preparation, the writings and the other things. I am writing for after probably 10 years, writing long answers.
Okay.
And the most uncertain is definitely the prelims. Even this year, I was not sure. I'm not sure that whether I will clear it or not. So the most uncertain stage is definitely the interview is also uncertain, but I enjoyed the process. I mean, whatever be my marks is not that great, but I have enjoyed the process. That's all.
I think your marks are not, your marks are, I think, not that bad also. But I think interview can also be a bit a dicey game. Don't you think so?
Yeah. Yes, it's definitely because I think my interview went well, but it's a very good feeling. I will say. I mean, the experience is unparalleled. The UPSC interview experience is really something that you can add.
True. Okay, Mayuri. Now, if a fresher comes to you, like who's just thinking about whether I should prepare for this examination or not, or how I should go about this examination, what would be your advice to those people?
So I will give 2-3 things I wanted to say. First of all is embrace the uncertainty. Before jumping into this examination, study the syllabus and the previous year questions thoroughly. And please make sure, I mean, develop this mentality from the very first day that uncertainty will be with you throughout the journey. The second thing I think that helped me a lot. That don't think the subjects as separate bodies. Like, no, don't think that I have to study 10, 12 subjects. Rather, build the reason behind. So it gives a very different sense of, I would say, very different sense of satisfaction to know you, to know your surroundings, the political scenario, the art and culture, the history, the geography of your state and your nation. So that gives a very, so I am a student of science. I did BSc, MSc, and PhD. I never knew what happens in my country in the political scenario. What is there in the constitution, how our freedom fighters has achieved the independence. So that is a very beautiful experience, the journey itself. I believe you should focus on that rather than thinking, oh, the syllabus is so huge, you have to study so many things. That you have to. But finding the pleasure in the syllabus, in the reading itself, will give you the push to continue for long years.
Right, right. So, Mayuri, one thing I'm also curious here, because you are doing your PhD, you're doing everything. So how, and you're saying that 10 hours you used to spend in your labs and everything. So how was that time management done? Because that is also a lot of thing that students struggle with, especially like you were kind of a working professional only. We can call you that here. So,
Yeah.
how was your daily schedule? How much time would you divide between the subjects and everything? What was that strategy here?
So I could get only 4 to 5 hours a day. So in the morning, I used to read the newspaper, and in the afternoon, after coming from my lab, I get 2, 3 hours in the weekdays. Weekends, I used to take the coaching that I just mentioned in the government institute. So that was also so. Practically speaking, you have to manage your own time. So it's a it is a stated approach. I will say that having a backup, like I have my fellowship, I have my PhD, so I don't have that much frustrations building inside. Like, even if I got frustrated for a night, the next morning I have to go to lab and do my work. I have to meet my lab mates, so that gives me a kind of motivation, or keeps, or just take out my monotony. And the second thing, you have to actually sacrifice something. That's all. Like, I had no holiday for last 2, 3 years. Saturday, Sunday, I used to utilize completely, like 10, 12 hours as much as I can. I had not a very good friend circle, and was not in the social media. So you have to manage your time. And secondly, for working professional, they also can afford staying close to their workplace. So these things, I think, you have to balance both. And that also gives a great sense of satisfaction to you, that you are managing your time very well. The little bit of time that you have, you are planned it accordingly, and you carry the small plan that help you motivate.
Okay. So, Mayuri, I'll ask you here, how did the civil study ecosystem as a whole, how did that help you out in your preparation?
So I actually, it started after after mains. So it's natural. So I watched a lot of toppers video in this website, like who have given the mock interview, and I felt that that was giving a good place to. The type of questions that they are asked. Specifically, the last, even in last years, there are 2, 3 candidates from my state, and I have watched their interview here.
Okay.
So that actually I took help from for mostly the interview preparation, and also that online facility. Like, I can't come to Delhi, so the online interview process was also, it was really helpful for the type of questions that have been asked in the interview, also very roundabout. So this all is how civil study.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, Mayuri, like now you've got some time. I think you've got some time before you go to Labasna and all that process. So, what are you planning to do? Are you planning to enjoy your stay at your ancestral village right now, or you're planning on going on some trips right now? What's the
Uh,
idea?
no, I am not planning to go for some trips. I am again confused, waiting for my prelims result, whether to join or FC or not. So yeah, that's, I said that the uncertainty will never go away. But it's okay. Good staying here. I came here after 2 years. I think
Okay.
of planning, and I will probably not get this much time to spend here in my next. So that's
Okay, that's nice, Mayuri. So Mayuri, that was really nice talking to you. And I think the kind of advice that you've given out to students regarding mains and prelims, that was nice. And it was also inspiring to hear about how, despite failing two prelims, you maintained your motivation and everything. And, the kind of role models that you had in your life. You've talked about how strong family structure support you had. I think that was very important for your preparation. And just before I end it, any last piece of favorite motivation quote, like one of your hobby there is talking about, I read in your DAF, it's about Rabindra Sangeet. So I think you would be a big follower of Rabindranath Tagore. So I want you to quote that some of his works, which can be an inspiration for students, not only, I guess, for UPSC, but life in general. How to take care of those failures and move ahead.
Okay, so I can actually name, I mean, I am really a fan of the lyrics of Rabindra Sangeet especially. So one which talks about Anandodhara Bohiche Bhuban, that stream of bliss is flowing all across the world. So here there is a time that, okay, I'll say in the Bengali and we'll try to translate. So it's, Boshiya acho keno apono mone, স্বার্থ নিমগ্ন কি কারণে? Why are you sitting alone in your own doubts and own confusions? স্বার্থ নিমগ্ন কি কারণে? Why are you so embossed in yourself? চারিদিকে দেখো চাহি হৃদয় প্রসারী. Open your heart and look around you. ক্ষুদ্র দুঃখ সব তুচ্ছ মানি. All your small miseries and of life will become meaningless in front of the big universe or the world, I say. So I often get very motivated by listening this song and reading this. So this is one of my favorites.
This is so beautiful, actually. This was really, I actually got a bit of a goosebumps when you were translating the whole thing. That was...
yeah, I may not translate it that well, but it's really something that tells you to look beyond yourself and look around you and to find out pleasures or satisfaction from the world around.
Thank you so much, Mayuri. That was really beautiful to talk to you, and I hope you have a really successful career ahead. And let's not talk about whether you're giving the prelims again or not, because that is again the uncertainty fact there. And thank you so much for taking out time and talking to us and guiding our students. I hope your motivation can also, bring in the right kind of motivation for future aspirants also. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update from Civils Daily.